one of the assistant principals here at Edina High School, and it is my 26th year in the district. I was a Spanish teacher for many years and then left the classroom to be on our administrative team, and I serve as the master scheduler, which means that I will be creating all the course offerings and classes after registration. And so thank you so much for coming tonight to learn more about opportunities for students. Here again is going to be kind of our overview. So we're going to talk a little bit about the classes and the path to graduation for our students in the classes of 27, 28, and 29. I will be joined by some of my colleagues from counseling, Dylan Hackbarth and Sandy Schmidt, as well as all of our area leaders here are to talk about their areas and some of the, again, those options. We have lots of electives and we have a very extensive course catalog that you can find on our website. And then we'll just wrap up. Registration starts on Monday. It goes till February 13th. But again, having really accurate information and having your child make a choice next week or a class a year from now, right? You want to put some care and concern into how we make that. So we are very, very fortunate. We have this amazing team of counselors. We have 2 9th grade counselors at the 9th grade level. We have 8 counselors at the 10 through 12 level. We have a counselor for our Edina Virtual Pathway program, and then we have some support staff that work in that office. Our counselors are our academic guides. They're going to help students be ready for their post-secondary journey. And so they are going to help them make very, very smart choices. If you want, you can follow them on their Instagram, which is very, very fun, at Edina Counselors. So the registration process isn't something that's done alone, it's done as a team. And so I'm gonna introduce Dylan Hackbarth, who's gonna walk you through what it's gonna look like as your child registers.
Well, I almost just said good morning. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dylan Hackbarth. I'm one of the 10 through 12 counselors at Edina High School. I currently work with students with last name Smith through Z. Let's just talk a little bit about registration. I am part of a large team of counselors. As you saw, we have 10 counselors at Edina High School. Tonight you'll hear from one of my colleagues and our department chairperson, Sandy Schmidt. She'll be closing out the evening tonight. I want to just quick talk to you a little bit about the registration process. Jen and I, Ms. Carter and I worked very closely, or in our team worked really closely on scheduling something that is developmentally appropriate for our high school kids. We try to make it easy enough that a student can walk through it independently with lots and lots of resources. We kind of surround them with lots of tools. And then adult support through our advisory programming and counselor walk-in time. So as we're looking at our 2-week overview, we really get started in earnest on Tuesday when all students in, what did we say, social studies classes will be watching a short video, which is an overview of the registration process. The information will continue into our advisory programming on Thursday, which is a half an hour every Thursday where students meet in a small cohort in the same grade level. And then on Friday, there will be another video about additional exciting opportunities that are available to students. As we move into the second week of registration, students can continue to work independently through their course registration. On the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of that week, counselors have several days of just straight up walk-in times, so no appointment necessary. Any student can walk in during the day. We'll see them on a first come, first served basis. They might not meet with their exact counselor depending on, if I have a lot of kids with last name that starts with Z come in, like if there's 7 in line, we might have another counselor see one. We look at our registration period as an essential time of our school year because we use this data to build our schedule for the next school year. So the way students register, the courses that they select during this 2-week period yield the courses that we offer the next year, which is part of the reason why we don't have any flexibility from year to year, because we base our staffing and the courses that we build based off of what students select now. So to come back later to come back next school year, well, we have not counted you in a course that if you want to change, so we don't have a spot, we didn't allocate a spot for you during our registration period. I share this information with you because we just started second semester, and as a counselor, trust me, I was flooded with students asking to change their schedules. And guess what? Last year at this meeting, we said the same exact thing, that there's not an opportunity to change your schedule after registration or change your electives. So we ask that students are extremely intentional about what they're selecting. It is a total school effort. We use many resources, which you'll see in our presentation tonight. Just today, on the grade level Schoology pages, we opened up all of our registration materials. So there's a folder on the grade level connections pages, which are embedded within Schoology. Every student is assigned to their grade level. If they open up that page, they will find all of our resources right there. I want to take a second to talk about graduation requirements, because we do have some differences depending on what year your student is. For the class of 2027, so our current high school juniors, students need to earn 43 credits to graduate from Edina High School. There's 8 credit, we're a semester-based school, so students earn credits every semester. So essentially 8 credits of English, so they'll have English basically every semester of high school. The baseline for social studies would be 7 credits of English. You might notice that little asterisk up there next to the number 8. Sometimes students will choose to take a course called AP Economics, and that course is a full year course to meet the 1 semester economics requirement because of the way they build the standards into the course. So many students will earn 7 credits in social studies, but if they choose to take advanced placement economics instead of standard economics, it's 8 credits. 6 credits of science, so 3 years of science, 3 years of math, 1 year of personal wellness, which is our first level PE class, and then another wellness class, so 2 PE credits before they graduate high school. Students also have to earn health, 1 health credit, 2 credits of fine arts, and then 11 additional elective credits. Just to be super real with you, most students at Edina High School will graduate with credits far north of 43. It's very common to see at the end of high school students with up to 50 credits, depending on what they've chosen to do throughout their years. Okay, raise your hand if you are the parent of, guardian of, or if you are a student in the class of 2028, or the class of 2029. I had a feeling that this might be the case. So I want to really draw out show the distinction of credit requirements that are different. If you just raised your hand, you have to earn, lucky you get to earn 44 credits before you graduate. Like I said, many Edina students will earn many more credits than 44 anyway, just because of the way we do our schedule. So again, 8 credits of English. Now, let me see what happened with social studies. They added a class called, why can I not think of the name, Eric?
AP Gov is back.
Well, AP Gov is back in, but in 9th, yes.
Human Geography in 9th.
Human Geography in 9th grade. He'll talk about his whole curriculum in a moment, but essentially, social studies need 8 or 9 credits, depending on if you're taking that AP Economics. Students need 6 credits of science, 6 credits of math, again, 1 credit of personal wellness and 1 credit of wellness, so a total of 2 credits of PE, a health credit, 2 fine arts. Ooh, special for these classes. Starting with the class of 2028, we get a personal finance. So parents, let's go ahead and clap, because that's a really essential skill that our kids should have. Passed by the state legislature a few years ago, so we've added that as our credit requirements as well. And then an additional a minimum of 10 elective credits to meet that 44 credit threshold. Now, this is just our baseline graduation requirements for these classes. As an academic advisor in the building who works with students as they plan for life after high school, I will be honest with you. The courses that we recommend for preparation for the typical 4-year college admission is above and beyond our graduation requirements. So it's very common that we see students taking math all 4 years of high school, science all 4 years of high school, social studies 4 years, but that kind of matches our requirements. In addition, we do not have a graduation requirement for world language, but my esteemed colleague, Kim Castor, is here to talk about world language tonight. While we don't have a graduation requirement, the majority of Edina High School students will take at least 2 to 3 years of consecutive world language to prepare for their college entrance requirements. And just some reminders, okay? For the adults in the room who are supporting students as they're making decisions for their life in 8 months, to a year, for second semester. I often think that it's important to think of our time in a day as a budget. So I'll say to students, every hour of your day is $1. So you have 24 hours in your day. Now take each of those dollars and give it a purpose. So you've got $7 or $8 for sleep. You've got $7 or $8 dollars being used for school. That really only leaves you with $8 left. What is filling the rest of that time? And as they're doing their budget, their time budget, I ask them if as they're calculating in their homework, are they going into debt? Edina High School is a rigorous college prep high school. We're the #1 traditional public high school in the state of Minnesota for a reason. Our academics are serious and our teachers are very supportive. But it's going to take work outside of the school day, so we just want our students to be balanced because they've only got one life to live, and sometimes it's more than just homework, okay? So think about your time budget. Beyond that, as I already said, schedule adjustments beyond the registration period are extremely limited and reserved for very specific reasons. Students are not able to change elective choices after the registration period, so again, please be intentional as you're moving through these next 2 weeks. And then finally, again, we have a plethora of resources ranging from what's on our Schoology grade level pages. Our registration website has public-facing resources. And then remember, the counselors are available for walk-ins throughout the next couple weeks. So with that, I want to hand over to my wonderful colleague, Tess Bateman, who is our English Department Chair.
Thank you. So if you have had students go through Edina High School in years prior, one thing I would just want to point out is that we did a whole curriculum revamp over the last couple of years. So a lot of what I'm going to say tonight is new due to the changes we've made. So if you are a 9th grader looking ahead to 10th grade, you have 2 options. English 10 survey and English 10 roundtable. I just want to point out some of the similarities and differences between these 2 classes. English 10 survey is for students who want to move at a standard pace and could benefit from a bit more support and scaffolding in their learning. English 10 roundtable has a more accelerated pace, and it's a course for students who are willing and able to be more independent in their work. Both courses meet the same Minnesota standards. Both courses are designed to prepare students for accelerated coursework in the future, like AP courses and college and the schools courses. Both courses include discussion, thematic units, and both have homework, both do about the same amount of writing. Again, the difference is survey is for students who want to work at a standard pace. Roundtable is the more accelerated course. So after 10th grade, students have quite a few more options, and we're really excited. A lot of these courses that you'll see in a minute are brand new. This is the first year that we've offered many of these. So students need to take in 11th and 12th grade, they need 4 semesters of English, and they need to take at least 1 course that gets the fiction designation and 1 course that gets the nonfiction designation. And I'll show you what I mean. So these are our options for 11th and 12th grade. And there's 1 course, 1 year-long course that meets both the fiction and nonfiction designation, and that's AP Lang. Students can take AP Lang in 11th or 12th grade. And there's 2 courses that are only open to 12th grade, and those are our CIS, or College in the Schools courses, whereby students can get University of Minnesota credit. One is Intro to Lit, and the other is University Writing. But you can see we have, hopefully something for everyone here. Students do read and write in all of these 11th and 12th grade courses. So students should choose the courses they want to take in 11 and 12 based on their interests and their goals. And one other thing, when you look in the catalog, the course, like I said, students read and write in all of the 11th and 12th grade courses. However, in some of the courses there's more reading, and in some of the courses there's more writing, and we tried to designate that just so students know what to expect. All right, so I'm going to turn things over now to Nate Murphy, who's going to talk about math.
All right, so I get to tell you about math, and so it's pretty clear cut, wherever your student is at, that they would follow this pathway. Okay, so students currently in intermediate algebra, they should register for geometry. After geometry, take Algebra 2, and once a student has taken Algebra 2, they have met the state's requirements as far as the standards are concerned. Now, Dylan talked about that they still have to take 3 years of math to graduate, or a lot of schools are recommending 4. So we still recommend then taking some of these electives. And we have a wealth of electives that students can choose from. That top row, those are all classes that require Algebra 2 as a prerequisite. So after completing Algebra 2, there's some different options they could do. They could go a calculus route, or they could go a non-calculus route by taking we have Intro to Stats and Data Science. We have AP Stats, and we have College Algebra Prep. And I'm not going to go through all the details. Again, all of that's described in the course catalog. But then if they want to go the calculus route, they would take either pre-calc or AP pre-calc, College Algebra Trig, and those would all lead into different options as far as going into calculus and beyond. The one thing I would say, all of us have started talking to our students, or will be talking to our students. I just talked to mine yesterday and today about these different options and what would be the best options as far as which ones they should take based on their current skill level, how they're doing in their present classes. So I really want you guys to, as you're considering that, as you're having those discussions with your child, to lean into the advice of the teacher. Because we want to make sure that we're setting up your student for success. And so we're going to make that recommendation based on what we've seen present, and even looking at their transcripts and having that discussion of how things have gone in the past to make sure that they're registering for the correct class for the future. So I really want to encourage you guys, if you have questions, if you're not quite sure what to take, then make sure that you contact the teacher, or you can contact me, and this would be my information. So there you go. And I'm going to pass it on to Eric Anderson.
Okay, I'm Eric Anderson. I'm the area leader for social studies. I'm going to talk about social studies, which has kind of two different pathways going right now because we had a change going on. Do we have some rising seniors in the group next year? Okay, so this is your slide for rising seniors. If you have been at Edina High School all 4 years, you took government in 9th grade, you took a world option in 10th grade, you took a US option this year, or taking a US option this year, and then next year, your only remaining thing that you have to take is economics. Economics is a semester class for the standard section, or as was noted earlier, it's a full year course for the AP. If you moved into Edina and were not here in 9th grade to take government, for example, then this will become apparent during registration, and you'll need to make sure you cover that government standard. But if you've been in Edina the entire time, it's probably just economics next year, and the question is, do you want to take the standard section, which is a semester, and then maybe fill electives on the other side, or do you want to take the full year of the AP economics? So that's the choice for the rising seniors. For everybody else, those who will be a junior or sophomore next year, we had this change, and so the juniors next year and the sophomores next year have not taken government yet because it was out and waiting to come in 11th grade. So you don't necessarily have to take it next year as a junior, but you've taken, geography was not required. Geography was required, and you took that in 9th grade, world this year or in 10th grade. US history again in 11, and there's some AP choices in US history or the standard section of US history. And then in 12 we have econ, and then the question is where to fit that government section in. Again, we have a standard section of government, and we have an AP version of government, and those are semester options, all right? So that can be taken as a junior, that can be taken as a senior. You can take US history as a junior and take AP government alongside US history. It'll be a social studies smorgasbord of sorts in 11th grade, right? So you have a lot of choices and a lot of freedom there, because econ can be taken anywhere 9 through 12, government can be taken 11 and 12. It just kind of depends on where you fit that into your schedule. We also have a number of elective options. We offer a lot of electives in social studies that we're very proud of, and you can see those listed as well. The one that most students have signed up for most recently is AP Psychology, which is a class that most college students have to take, so I think kids see that as attractive, and we've got some really good teachers in all of the elective sections. So I'd really encourage you to look at those as well based on interest that you might have moving forward. So please reach out like the rest, and please have students talk to their teacher. whoever they have for social studies this year, have them set that up for next year. All right, Mr. Sanger, Steve Sanger is here for science.
Greetings, everybody. I'm Steve Sanger. I'm here for science. I'm actually not the area leader. Our current area leader, Gavin McLean, broke his leg, so he's out for a while. So I'm covering for him. So here I am. The core science sequence is built around four main courses: physical earth, chemistry, biology, and physics. And so this course sequence will cover the Minnesota State graduation requirements, which include a year of physical earth science, a year of biology, and then a year of either chemistry or physics. So whatever course you're currently in, you just kind of look at that chart and move along to the next one. There are enriched and general options for some of these. There's AP options for some of these. Some of those AP options have different requirements. It gets somewhat complicated. But for those of you who are currently enrolled at Edina High School, I believe this week your teachers should be spending time in class sort of talking about the options and giving you some very good advice about what the choices are and what would make the most sense. In general, I'll just kind of highlight the electives that we offer. So in addition to sort of the enriched and general versions of these various courses, we have AP Biology, AP Chemistry, AP Environmental Science, two different versions of AP Physics, one without calculus, one with. So if you're interested in AP options, we have those. They are all year-long courses. And then there's a general physics course, which is not an AP, that's also year-long. The other 6 courses listed there are semester electives. And the first 3 are sort of geared more towards physical science, so astronomy, forensics, organic chemistry, and the second 3 are geared more towards life science, comparative anatomy, environmental studies, and human anatomy. So lots and lots of choices, and many students figure out ways to double up, because how can you pick just one course per year, right? So they figure out ways to take more than one. Keep in mind there are prerequisites for the various electives. So chemistry is a prerequisite for forensics, organic chemistry, astronomy, and AP chemistry. Biology is a prerequisite for comparative anatomy, environmental studies, human anatomy, and AP environmental studies. Both biology and chemistry are prerequisites for AP biology, but if that's not complex enough, there's also sort of an alternate path of doing some summer work to get into there. And then finally, physical earth science is a prerequisite for AP Physics 1. And then if you want to do AP Physics C, you also need to have Calculus BC. So you kind of want to figure out what courses interest you, and then kind of take a look at that chart and figure out when you'd be able to meet those prerequisites and kind of map out your path. So if you have questions, like I said, I'm just the sub tonight. So Gavin McLean is the area leader, and so you can reach out to him, or you could obviously find me as well, Steve Sanger. And with that, I would like to pass on to Kim Castor of World Language.
Thank you. I, as area leader, am the official world language cheerleader, and I would like to talk to you about the multilingual or bilingual seal that your student can earn at the end of senior year. So if your kid is not already in a language, these are the languages that we offer. In general, we, at this point, feel like kids are just going to take the next level of the language. So a sophomore is typically in level 2, we'll move to level 3. In level 3, you do have a choice between enriched and regular 4, and then after that 4 level, you have a choice between AP and level 5 for students in Spanish, and in traditional French. Gets a little bit different in French immersion, but still there's a path to be had. So in the next, this slide and the next slide, we just want to celebrate the fact that the last few years, over 40% of our senior class has been bilingual as deemed by an outside source test. And that's something that they can put on their college applications, and also obviously job resumes and other things that might show that they're at intermediate or higher levels in a second language, sometimes a third. So if you have any questions about the bilingual seal, we do not do any testing until the end of senior year. One of the reasons is because you have to be proficient in your English language requirements also by the end of your senior year. And so if you have questions about anything linguistic, feel free to email me. I'm very excited about all things language, so I'd be happy to help you. Thank you. And I'm gonna talk about somebody excited about all things wellness.
Let's go,
Melanie Pusateri.
Hello, everybody. My name is Melanie Pusateri, and I'm here representing the Wellness Department. For all students to graduate from Edina High School, they need to have 1 credit in the health and a health class. They need to have 1 personal wellness credit, and the third, they need to have a 2nd credit in the wellness department. Most kids, you can take the credit anytime 9 through 12. Most students tend to take the health class and or personal wellness sometime 9th and 10th grade year, and sometimes that 2nd elective their junior or senior year. We want to make sure that kids are taking classes, being active throughout the day, because we know when kids are active, they're better learners for all the rigorous classes that they're doing. The big decision that you will have with your student is how to take, especially we'll talk about health and personal wellness. You have 3 different pathways to take these classes. Number 1, you can take it traditionally in the classroom in the school day. You have a lot of guest speakers that come in, go through some great topics, and have some great conversations with your classes. You can also take this class online, and you can also take it in the summer. I urge you that if you're thinking about summer opportunities, that you look at the catalog, the flyers. We have dates that you need to be here in person, and we really, if you're going to do a lot of traveling outside of the state or without internet, that might not be the best choices for you. So both personal wellness and the health classes have these 3 options, and you really need to decide for your learner what is the best option for them. After they take that first personal wellness class, we have a myriad of other options that are really great for kids during the school day. We're going to offer racket sports next year, unified PE, basketball theory, lots of fun classes. I would just say to your learner, figure out what is their best fit, and we want kids to be active, and we want them to have success in the wellness area. Remember, wellness for us is not just being physically active. We really want to look at their mental health. We want to talk about sleep, nutrition, and we want to look at the whole-rounded student. So that's very important to our department. So again, the 3 credits in the wellness department. And if you have questions, there I am. Thank you very much. And the intelligent Jody Ramirez is next.
I'm Jody Ramirez. I am the area lead for the Career and Technical Ed department, which is one of the departments that has electives here at the high school. You can see also fine arts, you'll hear from them. Under the CTE department is the business, STEM, and FACS classes, so I'll be talking about those. I'm going to start with the business classes. You have 4 different elective courses in that area. If you're interested in DECA, then there's a Marketing with DECA course. If you like to do something like along the lines of like a Shark Tank project, then the entrepreneurship course is a great option as well. And then we do offer the Investing 101, which is an online course. In the FACS department, we have many elective courses there, from child psychology, interior design, which counts towards one of the fine arts credits, to different foods classes, as some of the examples up there. With the foods classes, the intro to foods class is a prerequisite to the other 2 foods classes that we offer. And then you can see some of them are online only, and then some are offered online and in person. For engineering next year, we have some big changes to those courses. Many of those courses have been changed from a 1-year option to a semester option. And I've put up there some grades suggested for those courses, but not required. So starting with 9th grade, like an Intro to Engineering Design course. Moving on to 10th grade, a Principles of Engineering course. 11th grade, the Aerospace Engineering course, that was a 1-year course, has been split into 2. Each one's a semester course. We have Rocket and Space Systems, and then Flight Systems Engineering for that. There is a new course next year that will be Biomedical Engineering. It'll be a semester course as well, and biology is a prerequisite for that course. And then in 12th grade year, we have Intro to Electrical Engineering, which was formerly Digital Electronics. It is now going to be a semester course. And then the Engineering Capstone, which is called Engineering Design and Development, was a semester course. It has been changed to a year course with the opportunity for internships built into that course. We also have the Civil Engineering and Architecture course, which is a one-year course, and then the 2 fine arts credits would come out of that course for graduation. And then finally, we do offer 7 different computer science courses here at the high school as well. So if you're interested and curious about any of those, you can look in the course catalog. You could also email me for any of those courses and questions for those. Up next is Geneva Fitzsimmons talking about some other fine arts electives.
Hi, I'm here to talk about visual and performing arts. We have a lot of opportunity here at Edina High School for your kids to be creative and express themselves through these classes. Our visual arts electives, we have a lot of those offered. They're all semester classes, and the prerequisites, obviously, if you're going to take darkroom photo 2, you need to take darkroom photo 1. The nice thing about the visual art electives is that you can retake advanced courses more than once. So if you're really dedicated to ceramics, you can take that course over and over. The performing groups, band, choir, orchestra, past 9th grade, it's a choose your own adventure. 10th graders are typically placed in a grade level band, but have the opportunity to audition. There's a place for everyone in 10 through 12 band, choir, and orchestra. If you want to audition for one of the upper groups, you can do that. If you want to just come and sing and play and not audition, that's another option as well. So you can see there's several options for choir, mixed in the top group, concert choir, concert band, and concert orchestra. Also, 10th varsity and concert band kids are in marching band. You're automatically in marching band. You don't register for it. Symphonic band, you have the choice to not be in marching band if you want. Then we also have theater. We have a curricular course called Theater for All, and it's for students in grades 9 through 12. You register, we like you to do both semesters, but you could do one semester the way the performances are laid out. There's a performance at the end of first semester and a performance at the end of second semester. And then there are several extracurricular plays. The fall musical, if you're interested in that, be looking for audition postings for that right away when school starts. We'll do that the first week of school. And then there's a one-act play that's going on now, and then we have a spring play. So it's for fine arts. And I'm going to pass it on to Sandy Schmidt.
Good evening. I'm almost cleanup. I'm going to do some of the things that don't fall into a department. So I'm going to talk about some of our partner programs that students can do outside of the school day. The first one actually is part of the school day, but Northern Star Online is another online provider that, if you've had students here, you've probably heard of Northern Star. It's a consortium of West Suburban schools, and it previously had been our only online provider. Students still take classes there if they want. If there's something that's not offered here, they can take it through Northern Star Online. PSEO, which is Post-Secondary Enrollment Options. This is where students go to college. Typically, our students go to Normandale or the University of Minnesota, and they earn college credit as well as high school credits at the same time. So they can, if they have a U.S. history class, that is a requirement here, they could go to Normandale, take U.S. history there, and it's going to count as one of their college courses, and it will count for their high school requirement here. So we have quite a few students who like to take advantage of this. They can be full-time, they can be part-time. So it's a great opportunity if they have time or the energy to leave school. They can be one class PSEO and then the rest of their classes at the high school, or they can leave us and take all of their classes PSEO. To start to do PSEO, they should register as if they're going to be a full-time student at EHS. Because it's an application process, and it actually is a quite lengthy application process, we want them to have classes here at the high school, just in case they can't get something at a PSEO partner program. So they should register for 7 classes here, And then once they've applied, been accepted, picked their courses, and figured out what part of the day, if they're going part-time, they are going to be away from the high school, then they need to work with their counselor to figure out the next steps. In order to do PSEO, students can go to our Schoology PSEO page. There's a Schoology assignment that they have to go through in order to get to the state forms and then to apply to the program. So that's where they would start. They would go into Schoology and look for the PSEO page. The career pathways at Hennepin Technical College. This is a high school program. It's not considered PSEO. HTC does PSEO, but this is a high school program, and students are part-time at Eden Prairie campus of Hennepin Technical College. So they have 3 different times of the day that they could go to Hennepin Tech. If they can drive themselves, they have an 8:30 option there and a 12:30 option at HTC. We offer a bus for the 10:30 session at HTC. So we bus them over there, they take their class, and then we bring them back, and they're back in time to take a 7th-hour class here. So they can, they have to be able to fit it into their day. If they go in the morning at 8:30, it will take up 3 spots in their schedule, and they will get 3 credits. If they go at 10:30 or 12:30, they'll still get 3 credits, but it takes up 4 spots in their schedule. So as you go through and look at what juniors need to take here at the high school to get towards the requirements for graduation, HTC typically ends up being something that seniors do because they have fewer requirements and more space in their schedule to be gone 4 hours of the day. If you have questions, again, we want students to register for the class that they want to take at HTC, and then there's an application process that will happen after the fact, and one of the other counselors in our department takes care of HTC students and will do an application with each of the students who applies. If anybody's interested in it, or today we had, during Flex, HTC was here and talking to students, and there was quite a good turnout, so a lot of students got the information. But if you have questions about it and your student didn't go to the Flex session today, they can definitely call one of us at the high school. I used to be the coordinator of it, so if you want to call me, that's great too. And then the last one up here is Genesis Works, and this is a program that a student has to qualify for. There's an application process, but they do a summer internship, or actually it's like a summer, yeah, it's not really an internship. They get trained at summer training, and then during the school year, they work at a company within the Twin Cities as tech support. So they get paid for their summer training, and they get paid during the school year to work for a company to support their tech problems. And they get paid about $16,000, I think it's $16,500 during the school year to do that. So they're here at school first, second, and third hour, and then they're gone working 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. So it's a pretty cool program, and there's some qualifying pieces to the application. So we will have flex sessions for that as well, and hopefully we'll be able to answer all the questions that students might have if they're interested in that program. And when you get the PowerPoint, there is a spot where all of the applications are available from this slide, so you can look for that. The high school also has their own online program. We used to partner with EVP, the Edina virtual program, but now we have our own online classes, and EVP is a separate entity. So if a student is interested in taking an online class, in the course catalog or when they're registering, they will actually just register for online, whatever the classes they're taking. So that's an easy enough process now that it's simple. It's usually the first thing that comes up when a student's looking for a class. So if they're looking for US history, online US history will probably come up first. So they should be aware that they need, if they don't want to take it online, they should register for the just US history class. Also, A student can't take more than 3 online classes during a semester. So typically the online classes are 1st and 7th hour, and then if they take a third, it's either 1st, 2nd, and 7th, or 1st, 6th, 7th in their schedule. So that's just in planning and preparing. That's how it looks in the schedule. The Schoology folder is the one-stop shop for every student who is looking for answers, and families as well. So if they go into Schoology, right at the very top of the Schoology page for the grade level, so say you go into Schoology grade 10, you will see right at the very top the registration folder. There's also a great big box about student council voting. It's right above that, which sometimes you miss it and go all the way down, but it's right at the very top of the Schoology page. And then lastly, the course catalog. I can't tell you how many students come in and say, I don't want to take this class anymore because I didn't really understand what it was about. That's because they didn't go to the course catalog and read the description and see what is required of the course, or if they don't have a prerequisite, they didn't look at the course catalog. So it is super important to go to the course catalog and have them read the description for each class, because a lot of your questions will be answered about what's going on in the class if you just read the description. So please, please, please use the course catalog, and it'll be up multiple places when you are actually doing the registration information. Okay. Again, as Dylan said at the beginning, counselors will be available. We are also working with the middle schools right now, so we'll be at the middle schools and at the high school working with students. So on February 11th, 12th, and 13th, we will have walk-ins. So 9 to noon and 1 to 3, we will have walk-ins. Students just can come in whenever they have questions. We hope that they use their student prep during that time. And then on February 9th and 10th, we'll be available through all lunches. So if they're at lunch and they just have a quick question, they don't have to wait for walk-ins. That Monday and Tuesday will be in all the lunches, I believe in the cafeteria, not in the commons. So lots of time to get your questions answered as we move forward. Now I'm handing it over to our esteemed principal.
Thank you, Sandy. So first of all, thank you for attending tonight. Just a reminder that this whole show has been recorded, so if you're anything like me, you'll be going home and thinking, oh, what did they say about, and then fill in the blank. So this has been recorded, it will be posted, so you'll have plenty of opportunity to go back and kind of relive this experience. I would definitely like to thank all of our area leaders for coming tonight and providing that great information. I especially want to thank Jen Carter, Dylan Hackbarth, and Natalie Goldberg and their teams for putting on not only this event, but all of the process for registration. It's just quite a process. And so we thank them very much for doing all of the work that they're doing. And again, I want to underscore what Sandy said. This is a very important process. So please, if you have questions, call and ask, look at the resources, talk to your child about what courses they're taking, talk about why they're taking them, what's the best fit for them. All of that is very, very important, one of the most important things you do in your high school experience. So, and finally, again, thank you for being here tonight, and have a safe ride home, and thank you very much. Thanks.